There used to be a time when all of us here in India used to look up to or be awestruck by the design language and the tech in European cars or in Teslas from the US. But over the past few years, there's been a movement. And Tata Motors and Mahindra have been coming up with blockbuster releases every quarter. We've seen a bunch of EVs from the Born Electric vision in Mahindra. You'll see some on the show as well. And then tech-loaded, very sophisticated design language on the new Tata Motors launches. Now, it's one thing to have an icon launched in 1991 and then to resurrect it in 2025. I'm talking about the new Tata Sierra. What's that design like? It's very polarizing, but it is certainly capturing the imagination of all of us on social media. You've seen the first look of that vehicle. We've seen the tech on display. But what was the genesis of creating something so iconic, or shall I say recreating something so iconic 34 years later? Here at Tech 360, we caught up with Martin Uhlarik, the Tata Motors design chief, to figure this conundrum out. Have a listen. It's one thing to launch an iconic brand in the 90s, but over 3 decades later, to come back and resurrect an absolutely iconic brand, something that captures the imagination of everyone in India in the tech and automotive space, is something special. And someone who managed to do that, especially with the design of this particular vehicle, the Tata Sierra, is with me here in Mumbai. Martin Uhlarik, what a pleasure to have you with us.
See you.
India has been so fascinated with the Sierra, and now we're back in 2025, 34 years later, and y'all have managed to do it again. Was it more of a challenge to get it right and future forward in 2025?
Yeah, it was a big challenge, a big responsibility, because it's an iconic name, very legendary product in our history. So you don't want to disappoint the fan base that has a connection with the nameplate. But at the same time, I never saw it as a retro design, and I've always been forward-looking. So for me, it had to be a contemporary, modern, futuristic product that captured the spirit of what the Sierra stood for. It's always been futuristic and forward-looking. So for me, it has to be modern. For me, modern design means cool, clean, less is more, very clutter-free. Has to be led by technology, whether it's the screens, the speaker, and so forth. So technology has always been a driver to push design forward. And then the X factor, if I have to call it that, because there's a lot of good design, a lot of very well done products out there. But the thing that'll differentiate the Sierra from its competitors is the emotional connection.
The soundbar in the car makes it a lifestyle vehicle. As a tech geek, I'm fascinated by it.
So obviously it's a 12-speaker system, but at the same time, the soundbar, this is supposed to be a shared experience product. We see generationally, everybody goes into their own sort of cocoon, closed off space, private space, but the Sierra is in many ways a kind of collective experience. So a great unifier is music. Whether acoustically it helps or not is not the point. The main thing is that it actually becomes this central focal point, just like the screens. The screens are a focal point for everybody to experience that interior together.
Tell me something now, with this push for EVs around the world, how much of a challenge is it to come out with an electric version in terms of design and fitting in all that tech, and then also matching the expectations for the ICE version of the same car?
It's a balancing act. I don't want to say compromise, that's the wrong word, but in the same time, there is, what's the sweet spot in the center? Ultimately, Sierra traditionally is an ICE product, in terms of capability, competence, and you want that mass appeal. But nevertheless, electrification and EV is the future of the company, of the brand, and I also feel of the industry.
Can we expect the EV to be on similar lines to the 23 concept?
Absolutely. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I love how this conversation is going, and since we're speaking about automotive in India and tech in India, the Safari was one brand that obviously we were quite in awe of when we were growing up in the 90s. The Sierra is here now. That largely leaves the Tata Sumo and the Tata Estate, right? If you were to, I don't know how much of it you can reveal, but if you were to handpick one of those projects saying, which one really piques my interest and curiosity out of the two, which one would it be first and why?
Of the two, I would say the Sumo. Again, it's quite a strong character car. The Estate, I don't really have a relationship with it. I've worked on Estate-type products in the past. The question is, like, does it have enough personality, character? How do you create something that's visually original?
So what are those top 3 design philosophies? You mentioned modern, futuristic, tech forward, but if we look at particular facets of the Sierra, that we can really pick your brain and understand this is where Tata Motors is headed now.
I'm always looking for a certain timelessness in our designs. Traditionally, a lot of our products had what we would call a wedge. So the cars were quite inclined, so they look like they're moving even when standing still. Yes. With the Sierra, we have an almost like stable horizontal line. And that gives it a certain gravitas, it gives it a certain stability, and I feel like it makes it even more upmarket. It has a certain presence, stature. As soon as it, whether it's moving or parked, it looks premium, but it also has to look strong and safe and powerful. It's an SUV ultimately. Then from a technology point of view, the lights, both front and rear lights are a single piece. It's not just for the sake of doing it, but again, it communicates a level of quality that nobody else is achieving.
Honestly, it is no mean feat, like I said, to really marry the traditional with the modern and match and meet all those expectations. Hats off to you for that. More power to you for this launch, and we can't wait to see, like we said, most probably a Tata Sumo sometime soon. What an absolute pleasure to have you on the show, Martin.
Thank you.